Hello and welcome back to Farm Sim and the Riverview challenge. And yeah, for you guys it's been whatever amount of days. For me, I forgot to turn the game off and literally saved, ended the stream, saved, obviously turned the game speed down, disappeared, came back and yeah. So anyway, I was watching a movie with the daughter, so and it was on for 2 hours. Um, so anyway, she's gone to bed. It's now 4:30 in the morning, and I'm going to plough a field with this and that, and this has to make our money back. In fact, what would it be to lease it? In fact, I'm going to lease that because I know I can make my money with that. And I should actually consider making, and I should put the speed back up, shouldn't I, to 5 times. That would help. But I should accept that contract. Oh, of course, autosave. Oh, I already took it. Okay. When did I take that then? Did I take that before I... No, whatever. Apparently I have it anyway. So let's go and do that field. It won't take long. It's not too big of a field. So, yeah, she'd come down because she couldn't sleep and said that she'd been on her PC and she'd started watching a movie called A Man Called Otto, starring Tom Hanks, and will I watch it with her? And I'm like, yeah, if you let me just finish off doing this field. Hence the reason why I said I have to go. Ooh, that's bumpy. So I went and watched it with her. Good movie. Tom Hanks always does a good movie though. Yeah, old vehicles along these roads. Wow. Anyway, she never told me how long the movie was on for initially. So when I made a drink and then sat down and she brought the video up and I'm like, 2 hours? We're going to the wrong field. That's not the field. It's the next. Right, I wanted to take that was a tree as well. You'll be fine through the bushes. Scratch some paint, you'll be good. Make it look even more worn and older and all sorts. Anyway, so we got done watching it and it was a decent movie. It's this one that we wanted to take. I know I don't own the land. No, I don't hire an AI either. I actually just wanted this. I wondered why we was going a bit faster than we should have been. Does it help if you lower the plough, huh? Oh, because I hired an AI, wasn't it? That was why. There we go. By accident. Because other way would be much more beneficial. And then I was like, well, you know what, when I'm done watching this video and she goes to a movie and she goes to bed, I'm going to go and plough that field. So all the way through that movie I'm sitting there enjoying the movie but thinking of this field. And whether I should buy the plough and do it, and how long it would take to make that money back from the plough. And well, obviously I leased the plough instead. So, yeah, if you haven't watched A Man Called Otto, I do recommend watching it. I didn't think I would enjoy it, but I do like Tom Hanks. He's a good actor. But obviously I didn't realise, because you know, I go up in a rush to go and watch this movie, that I'd left the game running. I thought I'd quit the game. Surprisingly, didn't end up with a traffic jam. You know, that unless we did, and it just over the period of time did reset itself. But now that I've said something about the traffic jam, no other way, thank you, tractor. Now that I've mentioned about a traffic jam, no doubt there'll be a traffic jam. But this is like a quick, what, 4,000. So, yeah, this one. Ploughing contracts are easy money. Well, with this plough, they're easy money. think there was cultivating contracts that I saw there as well. Although I don't think I would get cult. Then again, I might. Depends on the size of the field. There was definitely more baling contracts there, which might be worth looking into. Because we've only got, what, just over one pass, probably. One and a half passes, and we're done. We'll see. Why does that hedge line up there look like it's got gaps in it? That shouldn't be there. I'm just hoping that's a visual thing and not an actual thing. Alright, final pass. Yeah. One more contract completed. We should see if there's any more ploughing contracts before we decide. No. Let's see, that one would take too long. Back in FS 11, I think it was, or was it 13? That pass, it used to be the garden centre up there. I think it was 11 and 13 I had. And then in FS 15, it may have still been a garden centre, I can't remember now, such a long time ago. But definitely in FS 17, it was a field. A lot of little changes that happened here and there throughout the evolution, if you like, of this map. And anyone who's familiar with FS11 and played on their base game map will recognize certain sections of the map and go, yeah, that kind of is similar to what it was in 11. But they'll remember how bland the map was as well. Like it was just really open. No, I don't own that farm up there. I can't take this up there. I was about to pull out then as well. Well, I guess I just pulled out on him. I'm afraid I'm going to share the other lane a bit because I don't want you trying to do that. Yeah, exactly. Now fine, overtake. You going to overtake or what? AI. Sometimes. Right, we have time to do another contract, but and we could do mowing, but I don't really want to do mowing. How much would a tether be to how much would you be to lease over the year? We can do that. Hopefully lease to own comes out soon, and then we can everything that we're leasing we can eventually end up buying. 47 was that? Yeah, that one. Okay, up by the castle, or past the castle even. It's actually my favourite grass field. But yeah, this map's had a lot of changes over the years. And so the farmyard that you... Why did he wiggle then? Anyway, the castle that you see, or the farmyard that you start off with in your farmer mode, that back in FS11 was your cow farm. And I decided to make it your starting farm in FS11, and it's always even had multiple layers to it for the first and secondary yards, although there was only originally one dairy yard on FS11, 13, 15. In fact, I think FS19 was the very first dairy yard, multiple dairy yard. I want to be in. Don't know, do I? Or should we use GPS on here? I hate it when it tries to hook up to a different line. And so, yeah, FS19, because placeables back in the previous games, there'd only been one. Forget it, we'll just follow it manually. There'd been, you could only have one dairy, or one of each animal type. Or I'd only ever done one of each animal type. I'm not saying that you was limited to that. I mean, that you may have been able to have more. I just never tried. And then now we'll use GPS. So FS19 in many regards was a 17 and 19 were the game changers for this map. 17 saw the forestry areas coming to life, and 19 saw placeables becoming a major thing within the game itself. But so the original map, the second dairy yard, used to be much smaller than what it is now, that area, but it used to be a silo area, because I had multi-fruit crop or multiple fruit types on the map, and back in 11 it was one silo for each fruit type, one trigger for each fruit type, and so multiple silos is up there. And the funny thing was, the first multi-fruit silo came in as a DLC for Farming Simulator 11, but because it was locked behind a DLC, we had no access to it. FS13 saw the introduction of multi-fruit silos as a base game feature. Or did it? No, actually it didn't, did it? It was FS15 saw the first multi-fruit silo. FS13 was still using the old system, I believe. Or I was still using the old system, one or the other. I'm getting tired now as well. But FS13 we saw trees coming as a mod, because forestry was a mod, which enhanced gameplay, because you know we'd always moan about the trees, or people would moan about map makers and their trees, putting them where you can't, you know, they're a pain in the arse and you can't do anything about them apart from going into Giants Editor and deleting them. That would be the only workaround, or putting them under the map, as many people would do. So because they're scared that they might break the map, so rather than delete them they'd just pull them down underneath the map out of the way, and that way they didn't have to worry about any consequences for deleting the tree should there be one. Because back in FS11, if you deleted a tree, the collisions and the tree were in a separate transform group, and you could delete the visually the tree, but the tree would still, the collisions were still there, and you'd be happily just driving along, and then the sudden stop, and you'd be like, what the hell? And then you'd be like, oh, there's a tree there, but there isn't a tree there. Made for some interesting moments. FS13, I believe that's when trees were given, the transform groups for trees was a bit more easier, but if you clicked on the transform group for or clicked on a tree, you could end up expanding the transform group and accidentally removing the wrong, not removing the whole of the tree, ending up with the similar situation that you would have in 11. I mean, 11 they did have the transform groups, don't get me wrong, but I'm pretty sure the trees was outside of their own transform group. Could be wrong. Like I said, it's a long time ago. I mean, it's a decade and a half ago when you look at it that way. Yeah, it's not easy to remember with all the iterations of Farm Sim over the years. What was a mod, what wasn't a mod, what was a feature, and when did that feature come into the game. This is really bumpy. I think the feature for me that came into Farm Sim that was a big game changer at the time was the multi-fruit silo. And because there was so many different silos that you'd need, and that just meant that one silo you could do everything with, and I know today we looked at multi-fruit silo as a multi-fruit silo. They will do literally everything, but back then the multi-fruit silo was, it did your grains, but it was just one silo. Well, we got dark rather quick then. Second game-changing feature was definitely forestry. Even though I'm not a big fan of forestry, it was a game changer because if a tree was in your way, you could either take off the branches that were causing issues or take the tree completely out. It opened up so many possibilities. And so that's what 15 brought in the forestry as a base game feature. Originally in 13 it was a mod. 19 brought in placeables. 22 brought seasons, even though it's not the seasons that we like and we remember and love. It's still it's seasons. I would like seasons to be expanded on and function more like seasons, but I don't know if Giants will ever go down that rabbit hole and make it more. That weather has more of an effect. And I could go over bales not having to be stored under cover and things like that, like the original seasons, and anything left out on a field would rot away. But weather to have an effect on crops would be a big game-changing feature, like moisture within crops. Certain fields taking longer to dry because of due to the amount of trees or shade within the area. Tedding grass doesn't make instant hay, things like that. Did we lift that back up? No, we did not. It just didn't lock on. Okay. 24. Well, first off, 17. Stability. Back in 11, 13 and 15 in multiplayer, if you turned on anybody in the server, turned on their lights, it was just lagfest. Huge stutter boost problems. And then 17 came out and you could play multiplayer, turn on your lights and carry on working, and the other people didn't feel any lag or anything. The stability within 17 was a big deal. 19, obviously, as I said, placeables became a thing, even though I didn't. Being old school, a yard was a yard and you couldn't do anything with it unless you knew how to work GE, and then you could change the yard to your liking. It took me a while to accept the direction Giants are taking the game. Now I couldn't go back to the old way, because I like the fact that I buy a yard and I don't like that particular shed, I can remove it. 22 obviously brought seasons in. And then this game, 25, I think has slowed a lot of the processes down, which I like, because farming isn't fast. I like the slower nature of this game. It feels more like it's meant to, more relaxed and just enjoy. It's still too fast at making money. I would like that slowing down. I do think the Deadwood contracts should pay more to make them more of a viable contract to go and do, especially with how long you're going to be spending doing them. Even on the Giants maps, some of the Deadwood trees can be quite challenging to find. So I think they should be paying out more. I would say all of the hiccups. The rock breaking missions, but unfortunately they're broken. You can do one, but then once the same contract constantly appears, and once it's done though, that's it. But I like them contracts. They're depending on how they are put into the map. GPS, I think, was the biggest thing for this game for a lot of people, was GPS. But there's a lot of subtle changes that have been important steps for the franchise as well, like animal grazing. For how long we've been wanting that to be a base game feature. It was like Seasons, how long we wanted Seasons to be a base game feature. A day is a month rather than a day is a day. Or X amount of days equals a month. I really need to look at buying a yard at some point. That's freaking out. Didn't realise I was that close to the shed. I don't think we'll be doing any bailing contracts. The cultivator that I would want would probably be oh yeah, you're a bit on the high end of my power ratio. Would probably be something like that. Because I wouldn't want anything too big, but it would mean I get the job done and I'm still below my required power. But yeah. Next thing that I definitely want is that. But I can't justify that right now. But I mean, we have 3 bits of equipment, all leased, obviously. And our game day is now, as far as I'm concerned, over from 6 PM. You can fast forward if you like. And that's what we're going to do. I'm going to the next game day. And we've been going for, what, 40 minutes now? Luckily we don't have to worry about battery life, so the lights being on all night ain't going to affect us. 266 on leasing, vehicle leasing costs. I can live with that. And 829 on the loan interest. So from 6 AM we can slow the time down and then we can get back to work. We're going to wait for when it's light so that when we start work, because of YouTube dialing down the making it darker than what it needs to be, I'd rather it be light so you can see what is happening. And there we go. Right. Did anything come on sale? No. What I don't see is it doesn't give you how long it's going to be on sale for, does it? Which is a shame. Why is that tractor? Oh, okay. Currently you are 374 horsepower, faster than what I have, or more powerful than what I have, but I'd rather have this right now. Contracts though, we have you and you. Oh, you would be all over the map, wouldn't you? That's right by us. We're down here. The other one is here, and then the other one is that field. So I think we're going to take you. These are wrapping contracts, so we're going to take you. We've got cultivating contracts come up now. And then we've got plough contracts, which is the field that we originally went to go for. And we'll accept you. That means we need a bale wrapper even. Remember when I said I couldn't justify it? Well, I'm going to have to. But that kind of money that you can make from them contracts, it's more than worthwhile. We'll do that one last. We'll go over the bridge and do them two first. Don't know why he stopped for. I was nowhere near blocking him in any way, shape or form. wrong button. That one. These are going to be fun, aren't they? They're staggered by the looks of it. Let's get the top one. Actually, plan B. I'll get you first. I nearly jumped over completely then. These bales don't seem like they've been... They don't follow how you would have baled this field. Or maybe they are just... Anyway. We now have 4 game days per month. So contracts, we have more time to complete them in, which is a bonus. We just dropped that bale, okay. Let's get these. Oops. Should have come at it that way. Wonder what happens if you drop a bale off a field. Or maybe it won't allow you. Maybe it turns around and says you don't own this land and just disables the tool. I'll drop this one here. Apparently I missed one over there. In fact, it's going to actually be interesting come Monday. Because I've got a lot of stuff to sort out Monday. That contract done. Now we can go to the field behind the sheep farm and wrap the bales up in there. Hopefully when Maypole's all sorted I can try and get this kind of level of fog going on in the map. Oh, great. See what I mean by the bales don't follow the way you'd expect them. If you'd baled the field yourself, that is. One interesting design would be the Anderson bale wrapping system, where it makes the long sausage bales. That'd be an interesting system to set up doing this. We came at this in the wrong angle altogether. I was going to leave this one till last, but we'll be going out the field up this end, I think. Maybe. Back up with this actually. We'll dump this one over here. I was originally going to back up with this one and then line up with that one there, and then I saw that there was two here. If you was wondering what I was initially going to do. And there's two left over there, isn't there? So we'll drop this one here, pick that one up, and then we'll line up with the last bale. Like so. And then we'll drop this one just here, which would annoy some people coming into the field to pick up the bales, but I'm not picking up, so I'm not bothered. Yeah, I did fold it up, good. And this is going to be the longer way to get to the next field, but we're ahead of schedule. I didn't think we'd have this much done already. And next field I've got to take the contract for. So while they're passing, let's take that contract. You will accept. There was a truck coming. Take the dirt track. Where's our next bale? There. Okay. Well, because this is weird how this has been laid out, we'll grab these two bales up here. We've already dropped first that bale. At least it was square bales on this field, because the round bales would have all ended up in hedges and everything all over here. And we don't have front loader, so we couldn't pull them out of the hedge. We would have had to finagle the machine to get to them, which would have been rather annoying. We'll deal with that one in a minute, because that one's... we'll leave that one till last actually, because that one's an interesting one. This one. Unfortunately, I think after I've done the ploughing contract, which is next, I will be calling it again. We will have been close to the 2 hours at that point. And as you can see, it's nearly 6 o'clock in the morning, IRL, and I need sleep. Another piece of machinery to park up. To field 3. Oh, we was already on it, okay. No, I don't want that one. Get off that line. That line. Unfortunately, when I go tired, I also go quiet. Well, I go quiet anyway. I can be in a Discord with a bunch of people and be completely silent for hours. And the only time you know I'm actually there is when I start talking about something to myself, which I do a lot. And not having a conversation with myself, like, you know, something along the lines of that's broke, and you'll just hear something like that, and you'll be like, oh, I don't like that, and that'll be the only time that you'd really hear me say something. I know technically you should do the up and downs and then the headland or headlands last. Well, I think we've only got one headland set for this, but I'm just going with the motion and just get the jobs done as quickly as possible. And you know, it's not IRL, so we don't need to worry about driving over areas that we've previously sorted, ploughed, seeded, whatever. If Giants brought something in that did affect that and changed all of this to be more realistic, then obviously we didn't lower it, did we? Yeah, we did. Okay, never mind. Just felt like I suddenly got booster acceleration that I didn't previously have when using the plough. For this. That one I want, isn't it? I should have changed the working direction on this. I'd have preferred being going left to right, personally. From our position, that is. But it is what it is. This is the way I would have done it, up and down this way. No, sorry. Yeah, no, this, no, okay, never mind. Yeah, I did go in the right way. It's just the way I was looking at it. Okay, it's fine. No, I would have done it that way, left to right, because you wouldn't have had to worry about them trees and fences ahead. You just had mountains ahead. Is why I'd have done it that way. It does help if you remember to actually change direction that you're going. I mean, what, about 10:30 game time, we'll have this field done by, at the latest. I mean, yeah. I'll probably try and get a video out every other day of this, and then on a weekend it would be like Friday. I would have that day as my day off from this, if you like. So it'd be like, say, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. No. Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. And then Fridays, because I've been with the Monkey Show doing something, and then Sunday could end up being streaming farm sim or something on them days as well. So it frees up them 2 days, or keeps them 2 days free. but I'll only do this on stream. I won't actually be doing anything off of, you know, so whatever progression I make within this will be, you'll see, apart from maybe in the winter when it's all snow on the ground, because yeah, there won't be anything to do, at least not until I've got animals and productions and stuff like that. I think for a multiplayer challenge on this map, multiple farms, it doesn't work so well doing this challenge, because there isn't enough fields to really make it viable. I mean, yes, there's enough contracts, but not enough fields. So if you're all trying to compete with one another, you'd have to try and do the opposite to what other people are doing. So if one's going around cultivating, you'd want to be grabbing the baling contracts or the wrapping contracts, so you're making money. But if somebody else is doing that as well, it's taken away from the potential money that you could make. Maypole, Glenleith and Ebony Island would probably be much more better towards that end, because the amount of fields all of them maps have, especially grass fields. Who knows, maybe one day I'll convince the guys to do a challenge run this challenge on a Deddy server on one of the maps. That'd make an interesting game. Means that I'd have to go and say to someone like Farmer Dad, who like doesn't mind doing forestry, hey, I got trees that I don't want, can you get rid of them for me? I'll pay you X amount per tree. And also those other maps would have more farms than what this one does. More land for you to play with. Okay, then it won't be 10:30 when I get this field done. It'll be after 11. Wow. But then this tractor is having it a bit difficult to pull this plough, which is to be expected. It's needs 340 horses really, and we haven't got that many ponies on this thing. Look, Grufty, if you ever watch this video, your favourite pass to get all the way to the other end. She thought I was being a bit cool when I put that one in. I think it's awesome. Gives the forestry areas more characteristic. Direct routes aren't always the fun thing. Sometimes the obstacle to get to where you want to go can be more enjoyable than having direct access to everything. I believe this one always used to be a field. I don't think this used to be anything else. Are we in reverse? We are. It just didn't want to. He wants to go forward before he went backwards. Fine. Two more passes to go. And yeah, David, I'm actually using GPS. I know, it's a miracle. I'm starting to accept the features that are within FarmSim. Well, not accept the features that are within FarmSim, starting to utilise the features that are within FarmSim. I just never utilised it when it was a mod. Fully. I used it occasionally, sparingly, rarely. Rarely, would probably, very rare. Rarely did I use GPS when it, as a mod. Even though when I used it, it made things easier. I just prefer to do everything manually. Oh, we've actually gained a couple of extra ponies there. Oh, it was down on section, never mind. That's our contract's all done. And we can now go back to the store. It's a good job field compaction isn't a thing. Because all of that headland that I just drove over would have been needed to be reploughed. Don't know why I looked for the mirrors, was kind of obscuring my visual points of view, so I wouldn't have seen if there was a car coming or not. We'll dump this one here. Well, 4 more contracts completed. $81,000 in the bank. And there will end up being more ploughing contracts that come up soon enough. But we definitely want to be looking at getting a cultivator at some point. But I'd want to buy a cultivator rather than leasing it. Maybe at some point we'll have some of these start clearing in here and we'll be able to get new stuff coming in. And that's not bad. But we have no use for it right now. Same as that. If I was running a farm now, I'd have gone for that, and that. And a cultivator. But yeah, that's it, I think. Nearly an hour and 45 minutes coming up to, and we've done well. So until next time, I'll catch you later. Have a good one. See ya.